Hey, welcome back everyone for some more Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for the PlayStation 2. We're gonna level in this game that's outside of Dragon Realms. After some editing, we're already here.
Oh no, Spyro! It looks like the Riptocs have frozen all the Dragon Masters.
Whoa, that sucks.
You're going to have to use your flame breath to melt the ice and find out what happened here.
They really ought to make it where the text goes along with what they're saying, because there's quite a bit of lag there, as you can see. But, as far as Dragonfly Dojo, I think this is a pretty cool first level to start off this game. You know, it's, I can't say it's real linear. It gives you a chance to explore everything in that, and as you can see, there's gems everywhere. Which, speaking of gems, I didn't even mention in the last video. There's actually two types of yellow gems. There's the darker gems that are worth 10 like in the other games, but there's also bright yellow gems that are worth 25, replacing the purple gems from the prior games. And why they changed it from bright yellow from purple is beyond me, but that is something I forgot to mention, especially that 125 gem that I got as you're going into where you go into Dragonfly Dojo. But yeah, I actually quite like this level. I like the whole motif, the whole Japanese motif here, and you see some bonsai trees and that there. I just love the feel in that of this area, and the music here is pretty good too. And I have to admit, I like the enemies here too, which right there is a dragonfly that I need to get. These things are such a pain in the neck to get. The hit detection from the bubble burst that you blow is quite questionable, to say the least, but as you can see here.
Hey, it's Steffi!
Steffi is the first dragonfly in this area, but yeah, usually whenever you blow your bubble breath when you think you get a dragonfly, it ends up not counting, but sometimes you blow the bubble breath and it's nowhere near them and it captures them for some reason. It's just one of those things that is against this game besides controls and that. Some of the hit detection, specifically trying to capture the dragonflies, can be quite bothersome. And the fodder in this area are these giant grasshoppers here, which, if you think about it, is fitting considering, like, if you watch the old Kung Fu series, the students are known as Grasshopper by their sensei. So, little bit of wordplay there, which I think is pretty cool, but as you can see, there's more Ninja Riptocs here, which, like I said before, I just think the design of them are just awesome. This is actually one of my favorite areas in the entire game, and this is a very good area to start out with. Right off the bat. At this level, it shouldn't be too hard at all. Unlike the other Spyro games, make sure you look at every nook and cranny and make sure that you're getting all the gems in that. That way you don't need to backtrack as much. Which hopefully throughout this playthrough I won't have to backtrack too much in order to pick up any gems that I might have missed. I'm gonna try to do my best to try to get all of them, but as you can see, I'm just double checking here. And also some gems here in the water, which I'm gonna get into, which make sure you don't go over that waterfall or else you will lose the life. If you lose a life, you can just fry some... If you lose a life, you can just fry some fodder that you can find and release enough butterflies to give you an extra life, but just make sure that you're cautious here, and you should have no problems here. Water graphics are still a little bit goofy to me, but oh well. And that gem was kind of hopping there too, which I think is kind of funny. And you also notice you find some of the Ninja Riptocs, they kind of stand still as they kind of float away, but oh well, just nitpicky things.
Ah, Spyro,
and here's our first Dragon Master.
You had the sense to free me from that icy cage. Who would have thought the Riptocs would dare invade the sacred Dragonfly Dojo? Spyro, do what you can to return the dojo to its peaceful state by freeing all of the Dragon Masters. Remember, Spyro, the way of the dragon is to be a dragon.
He is a dragon. And I think that's pretty cool how he summons that energy to open up this door here. I quite like these dragon masters in this area. But yeah, going back to that line where it says, in order to be like the dragon, you must be one. And that kind of reminds me of what I think it was the Peacekeeper's balloonist from the very first game saying, you might end up becoming a real dragon. And I'm like, well, he is a real dragon. He's certainly not a fake one. These guys might look tough, but they're actually not too bad. Don't let their size fool you. Just use your flame attack on them and they should be no problem. And I also like how that Dragon Master that you just freed says that he's glad that Spyro had enough sense to get him off that icy cage. Well, first of all, that is the objective in this area, and second of all, I'm pretty sure, even though Spyro may not seem very smart in this game, I like to think that he has enough sense to use his flame breath on ice. Yeah, if you try some of those ninja Riptocs right there, sometimes they kind of do almost like a moonwalk when they die, which is actually kind of funny. Don't mind if I end up going back and forth here. This is just me just making sure that I pick up everything here, that way I don't have to backtrack. And I didn't even say this before, but anytime you want to get like a look at something, all you need to do is either push the triangle button to look at in front of you at a better angle, or you can use your right analog button to just toggle the camera around to make sure that you're getting everything. But as you see here, I'm doing the same thing that I did in my Spyro by pushing the square button and the X button. That is actually kind of useful, especially if you find yourself getting bombarded by enemies or if you fall into a pit somewhere and that, but it's a good thing to have Zoe around. Make sure that you get zapped by her, that way nothing goes amok or anything like that and you have to start from scratch. Once again, go through every nook and cranny and see if you can find any gems in that. Make sure you fry any grasshoppers in that way you increase your chance of getting an extra life. He did kind of like a weird jig there. And along this area, not only is that Riptoc, but there's also a Dragonfly pretty soon. This one gave me a bit of a time to get, so I think I'm just gonna fast forward through here. Not much longer here. There we go.
Hey, it's Shellac!
Shellac, you're a real pain in the neck to get. And I'd hate to say that's the toughest one to get, but the further you get in the game, the more of a pain in the neck that the Dragonflies are to get. And it goes back to what I was saying before about the lousy hit detection by the bubble breath. And that certainly does not help. Just when you think that you're gonna capture one with the bubble breath, for some reason it just does not register, so that's definitely something you have to be careful with. Make sure I get any gems here. I just really like this area. You can tell where they did spend a little bit of time, at least in this area of the game, because I just like the whole Japanese feel of it. You know, they got the trees and the buildings and that, and even some of the geography and that incorporated in here too, which I really do have to commend the game designers for that. Make sure you go through the water here because of hidden gems. Before I do any more, I think I'm gonna pay this little guy a visit.
Spyro, my kite got stuck up in the tree. Could you get my kite out of the tree for me, Spyro? I can't reach it because there's nothing here to stand on, just me.
Well, we can't help him out just yet because we don't have the ice breath. But as you can see, there's a rune up there, but it's not for ice. It's actually the electric breath rune. Which as soon as I get these gems here, I'm gonna go up and get that. Just double checking here. And there it is. That is your electric breath rune in this game. Which, like I just said, that you won't be able to use it to help out the little dragon there, but it will help you out a lot in the next level, which is Crop Circle Country. As a matter of fact, that's the main weapon I'm going to use during that. Now it's time to rescue this Dragon Master, which... just gotta make sure I grab everything here before I do that. Certainly does not hurt to take an extra couple seconds out just to make sure you have everything. Because backtracking can be a pain in the neck. I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, but believe me, you're going to want to be this vigilant later on in that, where some of the levels in that consist of like high platforms and out of reach areas where backtracking certainly will be very difficult. Trying to get some more fodder here. Don't worry, Ninja Riptalk, I'll deal with you soon enough. Just gotta get this treasure. Over there is the next part I need to go to, but first, bring this guy.
I'm sorry the dojo is in such a state for your visit. It's usually a haven of tranquility. It is here that dragonflies grow up and train to be dragon companions. Protecting young dragonflies is a dragon sensei's highest calling, you know. And Spyro, your efforts will result in much reward.
I can't say Spyro disagrees with that. After all, he's got Spurks and he's saved him loads of times throughout the games. Spurks is actually pretty big help. But yeah, needless to say, Spurks and Spyro are lifelong friends, and you can definitely tell by the way they work together. Now we just gotta collect this little bit of treasure here, and I'm gonna do a refreshing pause once I get to that portal over there. But then again, that's easier said than done, as you'll see here. Which I just completely missed there. But let me just fast forward to the end. Just gotta glide over here, and there we go, and that's gonna be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you guys again next time.